Hello and welcome to our channel, Sacred Akashic Healing Arts. My name's Corinne of the Woods and I am a soul guide and healer and an Akashic graduate. And today we are joined by my co-host, the absolutely incredible Valentina Mathias, who is an international Akashic elder, master healer, and she's part of the royal lineage of the family, of the guardians of the family of the Akash. So I'm so grateful that you're here and joining us, Valentina.
Yeah, it's so lovely to be here. I love the energy that we hold across Gaia for these conversations as well. For those of you that don't know, Corinne is in the UK and I'm in Australia. So we feel like we hold this beautiful infinity like flow of energy um,
Yeah.
across the planet when we do these get-togethers as well. So it's lovely to be here. Always good to see you, Corinne of the Woods.
Thank
What
you.
are we talking about today?
So
What's on the agenda?
today we're going to be talking about light body activations, which is one of your
Oh, yeah.
sacred practices.
Mm.
I'm so excited to talk about this. So I'll just dive into the first question, shall I?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so let's start with the obvious. What are light body activations?
Yeah, good question. So, how about we start with the actual scroll, the actual record from the Akash, and then we can go into a bit more of how they're done and what
Okay.
this means for you. Yeah,
Yes.
let's go straight to their library. First port of call, Akashic Library. Bringing through the record, the scroll from the Akash, from the Akashic Library on what is the light body. The light body is the alchemy of your soul's resonance, woven into streams of luminous frequency, into radiant hues of higher light. Your physical body is this same soul essence crystallized into form, shaped by earth and time. But your light body, it is the vessel of ascension, the chariot of remembrance, the bridge to new earth. This is why we awaken it. New earth is not a place you can walk into. It is a realm of consciousness. No door will open to feet alone. You must become the vibration. You must dissolve into resonance. And thus, through quantum attunement, you arrive.
Well, that was absolutely amazing, Valentina. It just sounds so poetic and beautiful, and it'd be really great for the audience if you would actually explain how that process actually works. What do you actually do to activate the light bodies? In
Yeah, absolutely.
reach.
Yeah, yeah. And before I explain, I just wanted to say that this is one of the incredible benefits of the way we do the Akash and Saha with the trilogy of the three Akashas, the galactic, the earth, and the soul, the ancient architecture from my lineage, um, is that you actually get specific instructions and actual healing. It's not just, I mean, as you've just heard, that getting a record is a beautiful experience in itself, but the Akash and your guides will then go on to give you specific instructions and give you healing in the Akash. So, but in regards to the light body activations, this is how we do them. This is how I do them. But, full respect to everyone amazing out there who's activating their light bodies too. More light body activation, the better. The way I do them, channeled through from the Saha Akash, is what we do is what I do is I tune it to the right relationship first. So the right relationship of Earth with the moon and the sun. And of course, there's much more right relationship going back to the grand central sun and planets and galaxies. And yeah, beautiful right relationship. So right relationship is the building of the energy from new moon to full moon, and getting up at dawn to greet the sun, because the sun is bringing through codes for us, not just to awaken us for our day, but the sun currently is bringing through all the activation codes for our light bodies, for what's already within us to upgrade. It's ready, it's waiting. It's like, I was just waiting for that key to upgrade my light body so I could do a quantum activation into new earth consciousness. So the sun has all the keys, all the codes. So I get up at dawn, new moon to full moon. I live in the land of magic in South Australia, in Port Elliot. It's so beautiful. And I go on this beautiful walk uh, down cliff paths, and then I walk onto rocks and look at the sunrise, or sometimes I'll go and face the direction of this portal of energy that goes up to Uluru. Actually, stay till the end of this video and you can come on a walk with me. We'll post some of those beautiful walks, okay, Corinne, for people. Yeah, yeah, they're just
Stunning.
like amazing.
And
So we do the walk.
yes.
It's dawn. I set myself up. I send my people in my community, this is the Saha community I'm talking about, a little image to say, it's dawn and I'm starting to get ready for your light body activation. And then I do my connection to Father Sun, my sacred connection, and activate my light body with the sun codes, and just talk to Father Sun for a while about what the activation for the light bodies is today for my community. And then once I've received that information, I start bringing everyone in the Saha community in. So I'm bringing you in your light body. So it feels very much like a sacred ancient sharing circle where we're either all together there on the ocean. This video behind me, by the way, is pre-dawn on one of these walks down to the sunrise. So we're all there over the ocean. You can imagine that. Or I'm sitting on beautiful rocks. Or we'll be gathered on the rocks together, all looking out to the sun. It'll whatever it's meant to be, it's what Father Sun's told me. So I bring everyone in. I do a matrix of integrity with the group, and you can look at another video. Maybe Corinne can link to the matrix of integrity video to know what that is. So I set up a matrix of integrity so we're all connected, and so that I'm holding space as your anchor, your earth anchor for your light bodies. And then I go through whatever it is that's appearing before me that Father Sun has said is the activation. And I'm not going to say right this second what it is. Corinne will post in the post editing some examples, right? Yeah. So, because they're different every day. Like, it's not like I'm thinking, it's not like pre-posting on social media, which apparently is a good idea, and I'm going to get onto that. But it's not like that. It's not like channeling through, these are the light body activations for the next fortnight till the full moon. It's like, you turn up. My job is to turn up. And then I get the information through my honoring of Father Sun and the conversation that we have. So I take a video, like a short video for the community, while I'm doing it, to capture the codes, and just because the imagery is so beautiful, because well, you can see from behind me, I live in the land of magic. Very blessed to be here at the moment in my life. Anyway, so then I post that in the community, the video, the explanation, and you can come and watch that, afterwards, or you might be on live. You might see the first post go up that I'm about to start, so you'll stop and tune in. And that might be like for Corinne, that's the evenings. So she gets this beautiful light body activation before going to bed. For other Australians and people down here in the Southern Hemisphere, they can just sit and tune in, watch the sunrise where they are. For you might be waking up in your area, and you'll wake up to it and you'll see the notification on your phone, on your community app, and be like, my God, what a great way to wake up. I should say my goddess. Moving into the divine feminine, sacred Lemurian ways of doing things in New Earth. So, oh my goddess, here's my light body activation for today. I'm going to be one step closer to New Earth. So I know you're all doing your own practices, but it's kind of nice to have a done for you practice for that cycle from new moon to full moon as well. So that's exactly how it's done. That's the nuts and bolts of it. And it's a lot of energy to hold and ground and bring through for people. But, that's my mastery. That's one of the things that's, my gold that I'm able to share out to the community. So,
Thank you,
yeah.
Valentina. And I have to say, as one of your mentees and graduates, I've got to experience these light body activations for the last 3 months, or nearly 4 months actually. And it's
Yeah.
honestly such a treat every night. So it's the night for me, like he says. I always look forward to it. About 8 o'clock. I'm getting your light body activation starting, and the videos that you send, especially, I'd say that, I mean, they've always been magical, but the last few weeks, it's like another day. It's like another reality. It is like I imagine Lemuria, New Earth. It is like I can see
Yeah.
energies around you, and
Yeah.
and also when you send the information about what's taken place, often I felt something physical happen in my body at the time that it's being experienced. So it is mind-blowing. And we're going to actually share, so I'm actually going to share right now some of these videos, so the audience can actually just see and feel the vibration of the energy that you're in, and where you're doing these light body activations, these
Yeah.
portals. And also,
Yeah.
I'm going to include the information that comes through, so they can actually see some of these
Great.
examples.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that for anyone watching. And also, I just wanted to add, it's just come to me that when I first came back to this area in Australia, and I've been living in Bali and traveling overseas for most of last year. Anyway, so I come back, and um, the local spirits said to me, "Please stay. Like, please stay. They know what I'm like.
Mm.
Please stay here." So I've made that commitment to stay here for this year. And I feel like the land and the codes of the ocean are, this leads into why the imagery is so beautiful. It's actually the coding that's coming through. Uh, People often say to me, "How come your images of the morning are just so gorgeous?" Like, it's because it's the coding that I'm connecting with and asking for in the photos and in the images. And because I've agreed to turn up and stay and work with the land here, the land is giving this magic back out to my community. So it's a right relationship. I'm very much into in embracing right relationship in all things this year. So
Yeah,
yeah.
amazing. Well, you're in for a treat right now. Okay, so the videos you see on screen now are taken live from the magical place of Port Elliot, where Valentina films and does these light body activations. So each morning you receive one of these videos, and then a message of what was experienced and what took place during the light body activation. So I'm going to read a couple of these experiences. Today you appeared in the fuller, expanded, feminine, receptive energy of yesterday. Then into each of your shakaras, aka chakras, you gradually accepted the masculine, sun golden light codes. This was intentional and slow. And you also allowed me to place in there the Akashic symbol for your sacred tree lineages. At your crown, the Akashic tree symbol became a golden yellow sunflower, and showered sunflowers out and around your aura like a sacred veil. It was delightful. Your heart chakra lit up with this gorgeous yellow golden sunlight as well. I created a matrix of integrity between us, and we enjoyed being priestesses of the sun together. How beautiful is that? This is another example. Today you are gently receiving solar upgrades into each of your 8 basic chakras, slowly reharmonizing the operating system of each chakra. At the end, you were mesmerized by the sparkles on the water, and your chakras magnetized to the water sparkles while you levitated and breathed. You were able to release your old pathway coding into the ocean with ease and grace. So, those are the two examples that I've selected, of which I have many amazing examples. But I wanted to use those two because it shows how, through the light body activations, Valentina is working to assist us to upgrade our Shakara system, to come into alignment, to create that bridge into the new earth energy. And just like Valentina says in the scroll, in the definition of what light body activations are, you can't just knock at the door. You've got to be in vibrational resonance to move into the new earth timeline. So you can see how just by looking at the videos, you're actually receiving light codes. And by the description that Valentina shares, you can start to connect to what is happening on a light body level, which then grounds into your physical body because they're not separate from each other. So hopefully you enjoyed those two shares and we will continue. Okay, so how can our audience experience this, Valentina?
Well, get out there yourselves. Like it's the sun codes. Go and retrieve those sun codes, soak them up into your body, walk around in nature. Like make a commitment to get some sun codes, even if it's difficult for you. You might be in an area that's, winter at the moment, but do your best. Humans are intrinsically creative and problem-solving people. So get some sun codes, get out there, figure out a way to get some sun codes. And even better, if you're able to, be walking barefoot in nature or, in the woods or, in my case, it's around the rocks and down to the beaches and things like that. And of course, you can join our community. So we can link to that, right, Corinne? And have the benefit of me doing that for you. And if you can look at them while you're soaking up some sun and receive that light body activation, even better. It's like double magic. That's what New Earth's like. It's like magic. Okay, double magic. Okay, triple magic. Okay, multi-dimensional, quadruple, around every galaxy you can think of magic. This is the time. This is the energy that we're moving into. And actually, speaking of soaking up the codes from the sun and the earth, I'd like to tell a bit of a story there, if that's all right, Corinne. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Good. So I've been doing that for years. Obviously, it's my jam. Um, and what happens is that it not only activates my light body, but it activates the codes within me, of the different elemental codes of, water and earth and air and fire, which is the sun, um, to to be medicine to give back to earth. It starts to give you a correct relationship with all these elements within your body, which is very good for you, and is part of radical responsibility here on earth, which we will go to in another video. So you end up being the medicine. You have the medicine that the earth also needs. Like it's not just that you need earth's medicine. It's not just that you need to be barefoot. Once you're soaking that up, you're in right relationship. So you're actually start to be someone who's holding medicine for earth. So recently here where I live, there's been an issue with toxicity in the water, algae, but it's been investigated at the moment as I speak. It's possibly other chemical poisoning in the water because it's pretty bad around the coast where I am. It's tragic. It's fish dying, people getting sick, animals dying that are, when the wind comes up to where they are. Anyway, so I was starting to feel sick myself. So in my light body activations, I kind of had pulled myself off the rocks and back into this beautiful grove of trees, which in itself is gorgeous. It still looks over the ocean and the rocks and the sunrise. It's an Avalon portal. So, all magic, all amazing. But I pulled myself back. And anyway, in the Akash the other day, my guide said to me, "We've noticed you've stopped going barefoot at sunrise." And I said, well, yeah, it's toxic. I don't, I feel like I'm starting to get sick. I feel like I need to protect myself. And they said to me, but you're the medicine. It's your turn to give back. And I'm like, oh, my human self was like, couldn't I just like hide and wait till it's all better? And they're like, Mother Earth needs you now. You've received so much medicine and you have to be brave. You have to go back and give back the correct coding now because she's been poisoned. So now I do go down there and walk down onto the rocks barefoot and go down onto the sand and have my feet in the water. And also even like she wants the coding, the medicine. So the DNA, I spit into the ocean. Sorry if that offends anyone. But, Mother Earth wants our medicine that she's given to us. It's like a reciprocal relationship. They needed me, and I'm continuing it to go back. I did a water ceremony on full moon at a bay near where I live, to, connect with the moon. And to give my DNA, my spit into the water after I've just been reminded by my Akashic guides in a group Akashic practice with some other graduates that, hey, excuse me.
I love
Are
this.
you just receiving all these years? Are you not giving the medicine back now that we need it back? So yeah, that's just wanted to share that anecdote that you become the medicine
Right.
and Mother Earth needs you to give back as well.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
just think that story is amazing, Valentina, because we do think about it, walking barefoot so that we can connect to the earth and receive in a way, receive health, but
Yeah.
we are giving as well. We are giving our medicine and our codes, and it's like you say, it's this symbiotic
Yeah.
relationship. And also, what your story shows as well is how powerful we really are. That we might think, oh, there's toxins, there's chemicals, but actually, we're more powerful than that as we are in our power, right?
Yeah. And we need to be in our power to step up and assist. It was a real tap on the shoulder moment for me.
There is no getting away with anything with your Akashic family, is there, Valentina?
You can run, but you can't hide.
Excellent. Oh, I love that. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're welcome. Mm.
So, you talk of the light body activations. Now, these are a bridge to the new earth. So, it'd be really good for
Yeah.
us to talk a little bit about, what is the new earth? Because we hear so much out there, the new earth, the golden
Yeah.
earth, the miracles. What is the new earth?
Okay. So I can answer that from my perspective and from my guidance in the Akash. For a start, the we're all I often work with the rose galaxy of the future, and it comes forward to us, from the future comes to my clients now to help activate the light body to where we've already made it there to new earth. So it's activating us now to sort of get into that resonance to be there. So it's the classic. If I could go back in time and talk to my younger self, this is when the energy and the light beings from the Rose Galaxy come. They're coming back. That's our guides and us coming back in time to talk to us now to help us transition to new Earth. So the Rose Galaxy of the future is a super galaxy, and it's the combined galaxies of the Milky Way and the Andromedan galaxy. And it's not just a spiritual concept out there. Out there beyond our planet, they are actually interacting at the moment, and they will actually become a super galaxy. In the Akash, we call this the Rose Galaxy, and it's everything that people have been alluding to of unconditional love, of having a higher consciousness and co-creation, and being able to understand intrinsically the higher frequency value systems of integrity and compassion and unconditional love for yourself and others. And it's all those things that people say we're heading towards. That's literally the rose galaxy of the future. And in physical form, it is actually happening. And in the Akash, we call that the Rose Galaxy. So it's a very heart-centered, heart-based galactic connection. So that's partly what New Earth means to me. Um, And the other thing that I do a lot of work with in the Akash is with the new age of golden Lemuria. So I think you mentioned the golden age or something. Often people refer to it as that. So this is another core uh, intrinsic feature of my incarnation is working with the Lemurians and bringing in the new age of golden age of Lemuria. So when I was a child, I would go into what I just called the library in the sky and talk with the tall men in robes with the beards. And now I know, once I grew up, I realized that they are actually the Lemurian High Council. They were men, which, by the way, I didn't see the woman at first because I am woman. Eventually, when I saw all the females, I was like, why didn't I see you before? And they're like, perspective, because you were with us talking to the men. Anyway, so as I see it, the ancient age of Lemuria before Atlantis was very much blue Lemurian. That was a blue Lemurian vibrational frequency. And then behind that is the Lemurian Council, Lemurian galactic community, the spirit beings, and they are white. I see them as white frequency energy. And then so we've gone white frequency energy coming down to earth as blue frequency energy into the ancient age of Lemuria. Everything happens, the descent of consciousness. And now we're ascending again into the new age of golden Lemuria, which just means that it's the golden frequency of energy that's coming through, that comes through and represents as gold energy. That's what the light looks like. So that's the new earth. And to me, it's 12D consciousness, and it does hold a lot of the ancient Lemurian practices of being in communion with earth, being able to grow everything, being in sacred community, communication with each other, a lot of circular stuff, a lot of circular sacred gatherings. Old technologies from there was very linked to crystalline grids and working with crystals and literally big crystal beds to lie on and heal, and having this psychic connection with each other, but not dangerously as in, oh my God, can they read their mind? It's like there's nothing to hide because you're existing in a state of love and communion with each other, and just living for so long, like hundreds and hundreds of years. And there were two communities, as I remember back then when I've gone back in the Akash, the land community, as I've described, knowing how to grow things and sacred circles and such. And there was also the Mu on the ocean, which is more where I lived. I'm very oceanic still.
Yeah.
So that was more conducting ceremony on the Pacific Ocean. And there's a specific portal that I'm not working with it at the moment because when I lived on the east coast of Australia on the Pacific Ocean, I used to work with that ancient Mu portal a lot. And a lot of ceremony on Earth and a lot of galactic beings coming through that portal to visit and talk and do different healings and upgrades. And so we lived on the water, by the way, in case you're wondering, you mean you went out on the boat? We lived on the water. We just levitated and lived on the water. And of course, we're in constant communication with the whales in particular, but all of the ocean life. So there's so much about New Earth, but that's a couple of main parts of it that it means to me anyway. Yeah.
It really explains why right now, and especially right now and the last year or so, there's so much coming into people's consciousness about Lemuria, right? It's coming up for a lot of people right now. People are starting to remember, it's awakening in people's DNA, that resonance, those ancient times of Lemuria, that coding starting to, so it makes so much sense. But another thing I wanted to pick up on what you said then, Valentina, was you talked about the 12th dimension, about the rose galaxy, and about us bringing that 12th dimensional consciousness down to earth, right? It's coming to, we're ascending in the bodies, right? We're not leaving. And when I first started really awakening, I thought I was awake. I realized in 2020 I was not awake. When I really started awakening in 2020, people were talking about ascension, it was always about the 5D, the 5D, the 5D. And I started to realize, oh, that's an inversion, that's a cap. So I just wonder if you could expand on that, because actually you're not saying we're bringing the 5D, we're not going to 5D, you say we're bringing the 12D in.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a couple of things to address there. One is that if you're watching this and you're feeling like it's the 5D, instead of attaching to which dimension it is, remember this is about a quantum shift. So it's vibrational resonance. Look at how you're feeling. If thinking about or hoping about the 5D is making you feel loved and safe and accepted and forgiven, then stick with that and it will still take you to the new earth. It's the vibrational resonance. The reason that I don't view it as the 5D is because in that dimension, you have everything all at the same time. So it's not quantifiable. You can't put it into form. So I don't see how it could be that you think there's going to be a community there. Create a civilization of new earth there, because that's literally what we're doing. We're moving into a new epoch, a new civilization. So it's everything all at once. So it's feeling love and feeling hate at exactly the same time. It's feeling running and it's feeling sitting doing nothing at exactly the same time. It's feeling success and it's feeling failure at the same time. I can't even think, maybe you can think of some more sort of it's the opposite of duality. So
Right.
in duality, which we currently have in the 3D, you're this, but you know that the other also exists, and you might go over there at some other stage and there's that kind of like duality. And it's kind of clunky. This is how clunky 3D feels.
Yes.
But in 5D, it is a great flow because it's all there at the same time and you're accepting, I'm angry and it's okay. I'm in a state of bliss and it's okay, all at the same time. So it is an amazing spiritual ascension, but it's not the new earth in as far as I can see. Yeah. And that's why. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And it's
Yeah.
interesting to hear about New Earth spoken as the Rose Galaxy as well, because I think when I
Yeah.
first had my reading with you and you talked about the Rose Galaxy, I'd never heard of it spoken of that way.
Really?
Really,
Oh,
first time.
yeah. So beautiful.
I was instantly resonated with it and was like, yeah, it's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It is really, really beautiful energy and often comes through as a beautiful rose pink color, like what you're wearing, actually, like a darker rose color. It often comes through as like that one down there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. So what can people actually do then to really transition and root themselves into the new Earth timeline?
Okay. So I think I'll give you three simple things, right? One, obviously, do the light body activations with me. I'm holding a very powerful channel there for you. The second thing is pay attention to the resonance of the emotions that you're, engendering in your consciousness in your daily life, and try and look for. It's like looking for a shaft of sunlight, speaking, of the sun and light body activations, but you're looking for an emotion that has a really nice, high, pure resonance, like joy and love and just sheer delight in the world or in something that's happened for you, and compassion, like these lighter ones. The other emotions are also amazing, but they're more working through stuff. Anger's working through stuff. Forgiveness is working through stuff. That heavier emotions are very, very important too, but they're working through, they're grinding the energy. Whereas the frequencies of New Earth are more pure, where when you get there, you've actually gone beyond that stage of having to work out all those contracts. You're just in these pure light codes. So look for that in your emotions and try and shift yourself to them, or when you're in them, really feel it, stop and allow that to be as much as possible before you move on to the next thing you're doing.
Yeah.
Uh, does that make sense, Corinne?
Yes.
Yeah.
Valentina, you've said all the way through this video, and we know how important it is to be out in nature right now, to be
Yeah.
to be receiving those light codes. And actually, how do we feel when we're out in nature? We feel those emotions of joy, we feel those emotions of peace, of bliss. And it's in those times, like, one other thing that you did mention when we were chatting before we started filming was how also when you're out in nature and you're walking, ask for what you want,
Yes.
daydream.
Yeah.
That daydream.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, like daydreaming. That's like the third thing is like that sort of daydreaming of, oh, wow, this has happened and it's great. I've always wanted that and now it's happening and the next thing. And wouldn't it be great if blah, blah actually came into harmonization and alignment in my life that I've been, clearing energy on and asking for ages? Gee, how would that feel? Because what's happening when you're walking in the sun and in nature is this, even if it's not bright where you are, the sun is still sending you codes. And it's sending you codes, but remember before I said about how really they're keys to unlock everything in you that is already in there coded for new earth energy. So that's why when that's happening, that you're in that relationship with your DNA and your cellular body and the sun, because you're physical, you're out in nature. So that's when you start daydreaming about, wouldn't it be great? Really, what you're saying is, wouldn't it be great if the coding within me for da 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 was unlocked now? And just, and let it go. Don't fixate on how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen. So that's why it's important to do it then. That's how you get on to the new Earth timeline.
Amazing. Exactly. It's so simple, right? It's simple. We just have to be consistent, and we just have to prioritize ourselves and
Yeah,
things, and
yeah,
follow,
yeah,
like, joy.
yeah.
It's going on that what makes me feel joy.
It's resonance. Yeah, you really got to get that into your consciousness. It's not about how well you've done doing all the right things. It's not like you can go up and knock on a door and say, look, I've ticked all these boxes. Let me in. It's like, nah, that's not how it works. You'll just walk through the door and you're straight back in where you were. It's like a circular door, really. Let me in. I've done this. Look, I'm good. Look, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, well, there's your door that goes right back to, look, I'm good. You've
Mm.
got to actually feel the resonance. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. It's the resonance. It's the energy, right? And that's a huge thing with mentoring with you, Valentina, and working with you is everything's about harmonizing the energies, working with the energies, and
Always energy.
and it's
Mm.
so joyful because you end up moving into this flow. And as I've moved on to this new earth timeline, now things are just manifesting like that. It's just, okay, I'm going to sell my house 7 days later. I do a little energy ceremony, boom, it's sold. And this
Yeah.
lining, and that is joyful. So I
Yeah,
just,
I think you should share the story about the people that turned up because you were
yeah.
in tune with the energy. Like it could have been all missed, sliding doors so easily. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
share.
So basically I decided to put my house up for sale because I got the guidance, I mean, I felt this is going to sell very fast, and I was being guided to sell my house. And I had a couple of viewings booked in for the Friday. I sat at my altar that morning. I'd done a ceremony the night before. I sat at my altar and I said, I spoke to the guardians of the consciousness of the house, to my spirit team, and I asked for them to assist me to call in the next guardians of the house. And that morning, my estate agents called me and said, look, one of them's cancelled. So I thought, well, that's fine. They're obviously not meant to come, and they're not the guardians, no problem. So I went out because they were coming to show around the second people that were coming. And they normally ring me they normally phone me to say, okay, they've finished now, but I didn't hear anything. So I phoned them and they said, oh, I'm sorry, they cancelled as well. So I just thought, well, they're not the guardians neither. So I walked
Yeah.
house. I'd literally got in the door
Love
and
this.
knock at the door, and I opened the door, and there's this like family at the door, and I'm like, hello, and they're like, oh, we've come to look around the house, and I was like, oh, I thought you'd cancelled, and they was like, well, we were waiting for the estate agents, they've not turned up, and I was like, it's fine, I'm the owner, I'll show you in. So I'd literally just how everything had lined, walked in the house. If it had been 2 minutes later, they would have gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, I knew instantly, well, I knew within probably about a few minutes, they absolutely loved the house and they were the right guardians for the house as well. And actually the girl was there that is buying the house, and her parents and her boyfriend's parents, he couldn't make it, so he came the next day before I had a
Yeah.
next hearing, and they literally offered me the full asking price
Yeah.
before I left the house. And I'd asked for a win-win-win situation,
Yeah.
a win for me, a win for them. They were happy.
Yeah.
And they actually said as well. So I guess the funny thing is that the estate agent, I phoned the estate agent, so I was like, this family's just turned up. And I was like, and you said that there was no one coming, and they were like, oh, we hadn't booked him for the house down the road, and they had booked it. They booked him in. There was another house down the road up for sale, and they'd booked him in for that house. So it was absolutely divinely aligned.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It
yeah,
was because you did the vibrational energy tune in for the right guardian of the house. You weren't obsessed with these as people are supposed to come and they're not coming and blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
You
I
were
just,
just like energy work. It's energy. This is a classic New Earth quantum story. Yeah. They turned up at the wrong house, but it's really the right house because they were vibrating, wishing and hoping for like the most amazing home
it was
for their
amazing.
first buy. Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. And there's even more
Yeah.
synchronicity where I'd need a whole video to go into
Yeah.
that. It
Another
was,
video.
yeah,
Yeah.
another video, but it was absolutely like within 7 days up so
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I'm happy, the house is happy, they're happy, we're all
Yeah.
win-win.
Yeah.
It's a new
We're all happy.
it's a win-win-win
Yeah,
for
it's so good. I can give you an example too, just more learning in the moment for people about vibrational resonance and how it works. Because it's not always like, oh, I sold my house, someone just turned up and like that's it's amazing. But also you'll find when you're going on to New Earth because your your vibrational resonance will be reflected very clearly around you. And even if you think it's not what you've asked for. So this year, I'm focusing on the architecture and building more of the construction of my business. Last year, I was traveling and expanding. This year is earthing it in, the architecture, that literally they're like fixing the construction more so that it's very solid moving forward.
yeah.
So one thing that came in was a new name, Sacred Akashic Healing Arts, because it represents the clear vibrational resonance on New Earth of the business that I've had for like 25 years called Balance Begins With Me. But that didn't really reflect exactly what I'm doing. It just felt like the right name. But all of a sudden, the correct name comes in and it's so obvious like, oh, okay, New Earth, thank you. And then the other thing is that I'm working on this idea of construction and architecture and form for my business. And, and so I was arrived back in Australia. I'm looking for a place to live, stayed at my friend's house. It's like every day there's construction outside. Like, what have you got the handyman doing now? Like cleaning the gutters outside my window. And now you have to put this new construction on the veranda right next to my room. It's like bang, bang.
Yeah.
Everything now you're refiguring your whole garden. Like, what's going on? And that's like, it's construction. That's my energy that I was asking for. And it was around me. And then I get a place to live, and it's not on the beloved cliffs, behind me where I walk every morning, but it's just 5 minutes drive back on this beautiful property of a friend of mine and this gorgeous little house. And, they're in the big house and there's a fantastic workshop space behind me. It's like this lovely creative community, spiritual feeling, but also, structured. the men on the property are working. They're creating, they're finishing off the structure of the property, and there's construction outside a lot. There's a lot of fixing the architecture of things so that it, becomes this incredible, well-run property moving forward. And I'm like, God, I just can't escape construction.
What's going on?
Clearly, New Earth energy knows that I'm a floating mermaid of the ocean. Where's my where's my house overlooking the cliffs?
Yeah, where's
Well,
my
for a start,
order?
overlooking the cliffs is quite toxic at the moment. I'm going back there with my medicine, but I'm not having to actually breathe it in. And for another thing, the vibrational resonance that I need for the next few months or for this year is construction. It's the architecture. It's making sure everything works really, really well for people who come into the Saha community moving forward. So, of course, it's reflected in my environment. And as it turns out, the people I'm renting from, Bindi, my friend Bindi, is an artist. So this beautiful little house that they've offered to rent to me this year is full of art. And the way I do the Akash is very artistic. It's an Akashic art. It's not reading a record, you know, it's not that basic. And the techniques are arts. And so it's like, oh, I'm surrounded by art, I'm surrounded by construction. I've realized with the help of another amazing sister, Dora, that the description of what I do is not being reflected by Balance Begins With Me. It's because I've been getting the coding from the sun, and it's activated something in me for a conversation to say, I'm not happy with this name. And then we workshopped it and came through, and Sacred Akashic Healing Arts dropped in. I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I do. So that's another example that you're on the New Earth timeline or getting there because your vibrational resonance is reflected around you very, very clearly. So
I
yeah,
love
can work it in so many ways. Yeah.
that. Absolutely. And it's so exciting when you observe it outside of yourself and you realize it's a mirror of what's going on inside. It's when that clicks in.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
experience it with my cats. I talked to you about how my cats behave and how I can see it's
Yeah.
my own consciousness that I'm harmonizing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really important to notice all those sort of things. And you'll notice that you'll be able to communicate with your cats and people out there with their animals. It's like you'll suddenly realize, oh, there's a frequency. There's like a wave of energy here. I can just go into it and
Yeah,
communicate. And
yeah.
it's not English or French or whatever your language is. You've got to be open to the communication as well. And how it comes. Yeah.
Well, I know it kind of happened to me. I think it was April last year when I was doing my Reconnect program live, and the sun really called me out. And I think that was the first time when I really consciously received like it's telepathy. It's communicating through the heart, right? And you're getting a
Yeah.
message. So the more people
Yeah.
are connecting to the sun, they're going to start to be able to understand the messages that the sun is giving to them. They'll just know what that
Yeah.
message is. It's not
Yeah.
in English, but you will hear it in your
Yeah.
language. We translate through the
Yeah.
for you. So yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah. And get that sun onto your third eye if you're one of the people out there that's thinking, I'm getting my intuition's good, but I don't see anything. Like get the sun right into your third eye, coding right into your pineal gland, because it's the key to opening up the coding that's been dormant in there. Mm.
amazing, amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Corinne.
So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. But before that,
Come take a walk with me in the land of magic.